Good afternoon, my name is Specialist Wright, and today I'll be giving a block of instruction on identifying topographic symbols on a military map. The task, conditions, and standards. Task, identify topographic symbols on a military map. Conditions, you are a member or a squad or a team in a classroom environment and have been given a 1 to 50,000 scale military map, and a requirement to identify topographic symbols on the map. Standards, identify topographic symbols, colors, and marginal information on a military map. Before we begin, the risk assessment is low. With that being said, since we are in a classroom environment, be mindful of any wires, chairs, or desks. That way you don't trip over them. If you have any bottles or any beverages, please seal them and place them down at your feet or in the designated drinking area, which is over here behind you to your left. All right, and in case of a fire, I have 2 fire exits in this building, one to my right, your left, and one to my left, your right. And in the case of a fire, we will exit the building in a calm and safe manner, and then rally in the parking lot for accountability. Also, if you have any electrical sockets around your desk and you need to plug in a laptop or a phone or anything for that for charging purposes, I don't mind if you do that, but please make sure to follow proper outlet usage and not to overrun any power strips, and do not start any daisy chains. With that being said, I'm going to first demonstrate how to identify topographic symbols on a military map. All right, now that I have identified topographic symbols on a military map, using not only my legend and other marginal info and the common understanding of the 6 basic colors found on a map, I will now talk you through it. So, the 6 basic colors on a military map. You have black, which represents man-made features other than roads. So, with that being said, I realized that, hey, black is man-made features. The symbols for any buildings or structures using the legend, I noticed that the legend is using a regular square to identify any hard-built buildings. And I came over to the map and I circled it and identified it. I also knew that they had a special rule using the military legend that, hey, any terminal airfields or airstrips are going to be marked off in this blue box. So I went ahead and identified that as well. Now, real quick, before we go on and start practicing, I'm going to review the 6 basic colors with everybody. I already covered black. Now blue. Blue represents any body of water, lakes, rivers, ponds. Green represents vegetation. Now brown. Brown represents all relief features, contour lines on older maps, and cultivated land on red light readable maps. Red is any major roads, built up areas, special features on old maps. Now, red-brown is all relief features and main roads on red light readable maps. Now that we've gone over the colors, we're going to identify marginal information. So, marginal information. You have your sheet name. The sheet name will be found in bold print at the center and top of your map. Your sheet number is going to be found in bold print in the upper right corner. And it's normally going to be a series of letters followed by number, or will be numbers. For this instance, this one is CP Buren, since the map is of Camp Buren. Your next is going to be your series name. The series name of a map is found in bold print in the upper left corner of the margin. So the series name, Kuwait. Scale. The scale is found both in the upper left and at the bottom center. So the scale we're using is 1 in 50,000. You can find that in the upper left corner and plain. And then you can also find it down here with your scale bar graph. Now, your series number. The series number is found in both the upper right margin and the lower left margin. So our series number, K743S. And then your addition number is going to be found right next to your series number in the upper right corner. And our addition number is 01SRP. Now, why does the addition number matter? Well, the addition number matters because we have the adjoining sheet diagram. Most at all standard scales contain a diagram that illustrates the adjoining sheets. So if you come down to the bottom, you're going to have your adjoining sheet diagram, and it shows you where this map lines up with other maps in the same addition to create the whole picture. On top of that, we have our elevation guide. And our elevation guide is normally found in the lower right margin. It is a miniature characterization of the terrain shown. So here we have our elevation guide. I don't know if you can see that, it's in this bottom right corner. We also have our declination diagram. Our declination diagram will be found near the bar scale in the center of the map. We have our bar scales, which is also where we talked about earlier with the other location of where we can find the scale for the map. And then one of the most important things that helps us determine whether or not what we're seeing on the map that helps determine other features that are not commonly gone over will be in the legend. The legend will be found in the lower left corner. So if we had a blue pond with some green clumps in it, using reason and logic, we would know that, hey, this represents a swamp. Now, if we see some other features on the map, for instance, that we don't understand, right, we'll look at it, and then we'll come down to the legend and read, okay, so this is an impact area. Now, I'll give you guys time to practice going over and identifying topographic symbols, the colors on the map, and also marginal information. During this time, I'll be walking around and giving any guidance to anybody that needs it at the time. All right, now that we've finished practicing, we're gonna go over and do the practical exercise. Practical exercise is what's gonna determine if you're a go or no-go in this training event. I have 6 basic questions for you, and you will answer them using the map at your desk and the answer sheet I provided. All right, question 1. Identify the sheet name. Once again, question 1, identify the sheet name. Question 2, identify the sheet number. Once again, that's identify the sheet number. Question 3, identify the declination diagram. Once again, that's identify the declination diagram. Question 4, using your legend, identify an airfield. Once again, that's using a legend, identify an airfield. Question 5, if you were to see an area that is blue with clumps of green, what would this identify using reason and logic? Once again, that's if you were to see an area that is blue with clumps of green, what would this identify? Now, question 6. What does the adjoined sheets diagram show you? Once again, that is, what does the adjoined sheets diagram show you? You have 15 minutes to complete this part. All right, everybody pass your papers to the right and up to me. I'll go over here and grade them. All right, I have graded the papers and everybody is a go in this event. So for your task proficiency, you are considered trained. I'll go ahead and take all the results and pass them up to the chain of command. That way your leaders know that, hey, you are trained in identifying topographic features on a military map. Now, if everybody could please take your maps, pass them to the right, and then pass them up to me. All right, now that I have collected all the maps, we're going to go ahead and go into an AAR. So what was the commander's intent? The commander's intent was to identify topographic features on a military map. What did we do today? We identified topographic features on a military map. We also identified the 6 basic colors on a military map. We identified using the legend to go over anything additional that's not covered we can find in the legend, and that's what we learned today. And then also we used marginal information to learn more about the map that we are using. All right, any sustains? Any improves? Any recommendations? All right, if there are no further sustains or improves, my name is Specialist Wright, and this concludes your class today. You may go ahead and police up your areas, and have a nice day.